Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. First of all, allow me to begin with expressing my thanks to Turkuas for organizing this event at the House of Commons. It is a great pleasure for me to address this distinguished audience in this very esteemed body. Today we have not only the participants from the British Parliament and the representative presence of the Turkish-speaking community in the United Kingdom here, but we also have a very special guest coming from Germany. On this occasion, I would particularly like to greet Ms. Cemile Yusuf, the German politician of Turkish origin, who became the first ever Muslim member of the Christian Democratic Union, elected into the Bundestag, the German parliament, in 2013 elections. So we congratulate Ms. Yusuf for her success and extend our gratitude for attending this event. Dear guests, when Turkuas was founded in May 2013 with the aim of becoming an umbrella organization in the United Kingdom for Turkish-speaking communities, in close relation with other Turkish civil society groups and individuals involved in community activities, we expressed our appreciation and full support to them and their aims and objectives. The reason for that support was their focus on the empowerment of the Turkish-speaking community living in the United Kingdom by contributing to civil initiatives targeting increased integration of Turkish community into the United Kingdom society. Gladly, we observe that they set younger generations and women as their target groups. Role models are very important to realize such objectives because they create awareness and inspiration. Since this is the first public event of Turkuas, which is entirely in harmony with their aims and objectives, I would like to congratulate them for this successful beginning. I feel that every individual members of Turkuas will be considered as a role model by the younger generations of Turkish community in the United Kingdom, and civil initiatives alike will definitely increase. Ladies and gentlemen, the social, economic and cultural participation of Turkish-speaking communities in the United Kingdom to British social and economic life becomes more and more visible each and every year. Having arrived in the United Kingdom in late 1960s, the first families which arrived some 50 years ago are now having their third or even fourth generations growing in their British homeland. However, their participation in the political life of Great Britain does not appear to reflect the trend that we see in social, cultural and economic fields. I hope I would not be considered as being presumptuous if I said that there is a very serious chance to increase the number of Turkish-speaking councillors in London in local elections to be held in 2014. Yet, the success of German politicians of Turkish origin is way ahead, and Ms. Yusuf is only one of the existing testaments to this fact. Let me be fair. As of 2013, Baroness Hüseyin Ece is in the British Parliament, yet she happens to be the only British politician so far to be of Turkish origin. I think it is fair, I think it's a fair wish to see more politicians of Turkish origin in British politics, proportionate to their population in the United Kingdom and also to their contribution to British life. I'm sure that today's event, organized by Turkuas, will motivate younger Turkish generations to follow the path opened by the previous generations and participate more actively in British political life. Young people, whom I see at the backbenches there, between the ages of 15 and 25 constitute a fifth of the world's population. While they are often involved in informal but somehow politically relevant processes such as activism or civic engagement, they are not formally represented in national political institutions such as parliaments, and many of them do not participate in elections. This has an impact on the quality of democratic governance. Political participation is a fundamental democratic right, and the youth should be encouraged so that they are convinced that formal political processes are accessible for them. This can help fresh and bright ideas rejuvenate the political scene with potentially long-lasting positive impacts on every country's political culture. I feel that there is a very serious awareness among political parties in the United Kingdom to mobilize politicians of diverse origins and help foster intercommunal cooperation and understanding in the United Kingdom, as well as the spirit of solidarity. Turkish-speaking community would wish to be a part of this process too. I would like to thank the organizers of this event and hope we will see the fruitful outcomes of this event in the near future. Thank you.
Ambassador, I know you are in a hurry this afternoon, and I know we want to have a discussion about the role of Turkuas and what it intends to do, and I'm going to ask somebody from Turkuas to start that in a moment. But I wonder whether you'd be prepared to take any questions before I ask our other parliamentarian here to say a few words as well. Has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask the Turkish ambassador to the United Kingdom before he has to shoot off? More specifically about this particular issue that we're going to discuss today. Can't see any hands. Okay, that obviously you had a very all-encompassing speech there that answered everybody's questions. I just add, before I ask you to speak, I just add that for 10 years I was a Leeds City Councillor in my adopted city of Leeds. And in that city I was in charge for 4 years of integration and equality. And one of the things I said was almost repeated word for word by you, Ambassador, which was that until we have people from the different communities that make up the United Kingdom, from all the different backgrounds and all the different heritages, standing for council seats, standing for parliament, and being elected, we will never have true equality. And we need a reflection in our parliament of the makeup of this society. I think all countries need that too, I hope you would agree. And you made a point about council elections. Next year there will be council elections in London. There'll also be council elections up and down the country in authorities like Leeds and Bradford and many of the big cities. And I hope that where there are concentrations of people from Turkish heritage, Turkish origin, even first generation, that they will feel, for whatever political party they wish to stand, that they are empowered to do so and selected to do so and then subsequently elected. After all, they will represent their parties in the public that elect them, not just their communities. But the very fact they're from the Turkish community, or the Turkish-speaking community, is very significant. And that's why we're here today. So, would you like to say a few words before we kick off? I don't know, sorry, you just arrived.
Yes, the chairman of Turkuas, Professor Dr. Mustafa Cem has just arrived.
Well, many apologies to everyone. I was waiting at the carriages gates.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, these things happen. So, I'm absolutely delighted to see everyone, especially this lady here. Now, it's okay. Well, I'm speaking this evening as the chairman of Turkuas UK, this lovely new charity we founded. It's a registered independent charity, Turkuas UK. It stands for Turkish-speaking communities in the UK. So we are very, very inclusive, and we are also very UK-centered. So we really want to serve the community in this country. And we have various projects which I may mention now or later. But this is our first event because it's a young charity, very upbeat, and we're absolutely delighted that Jamila Han so graciously accepted our invitation to come here. Germany has a soft spot in my heart. I have two brothers who live in Deutschland, and it's always been a dream to have someone like you. I'm amazed how young you are.
I'm looking younger than I am.
I mean, I'm a doctor and I get very sick of these things. So let me tell you, because some of you may not know much about Turkuas UK. So I've already mentioned some of our founding principles. We're a registered charity, we are UK based, we are UK looking. And we are very inclusive. Inclusive meaning all Turkish-speaking communities, no differences there. I think it's most important maybe to tell you a bit about our projects. At the moment we are focusing on 7 projects. The first is encouraging the Turkish-speaking communities, especially the young, and I'm delighted to see lots of young people there, to get involved in UK politics and the encouragement for that. So it is really for this reason that we so appreciate your coming here. And so this is the first project that's kicked off, and thank you again. I can't think enough to for coming here. Our second project, which is also kicked off, is what I have called social responsibility. There are big problems amongst the Turkish-speaking communities in the UK, and we are going to tackle them. And we've already started questioning and analysing what the problems are, why we do so badly in education, for example. And here there is good news of Germany, because I gather there's a similar situation in Germany, maybe in the last generation, where the Turkish-speaking communities did pretty poorly, and now we are flying very high. So we really have a lot to learn from you, and we look forward to working together. That brings me to our third project, which is education. We want to just get involved in education. At least 3 of our members, 3 of the 12 trustees of Turkuas UK, are educationists or teachers, including like me. I'm a professor of cancer biology at the Imperial College, so I know a few things about schools and university education. We want to encourage people to come to university. I've got a dream to create a scholarship scheme, which I'd like to call Aferin Bursu. Aferin scholarship, just for a pat on the back, £1,000 for everyone, not everyone, just those select few who will get access to university. And later on we may do more encouragement scholarships as well. So if there are any businessmen amongst you, we are looking for some support, sponsorship. He got it in. And the next category is health. That's where I come in. We have a saying in Turkish: a healthy mind rests on a healthy body. So we want to tackle some of the problems. We have that expression too. Oh, you have that expression? Did you get it from us? Or I'm so sorry. No, not at all. Now, our next project is lobbying the UK political system. We really would like to interact with the UK politicians. Lovely. And for that reason, we've really taken the plunge and opened an office at Trafalgar Square. Yes, so I do have the odd sleepless night, wondering where the next rent will come from, but we are determined to make it a success. And we hope to have you there more and more, and we're going to be sending invitations and so on. As time goes. Our next project, number 6, is communication. It's absolutely essential that we communicate with the communities. That this is a two-way system, so we will use all available lines of communication to interact with the communities. Number 7, finally, is what I called recognition of our special days. There are many special days in our calendar, not just religious ones, but national ones. For example, the 2015 will be the 100 years of Gallipoli, nothing else, Çanakkale. We would like to recognize things like that. This year was the UNESCO recognition event for PV Race, one of our famous seamen who drew on the maps of the world, nothing else. So it's very important for all of us to know and remember, especially the young, that the Turkish-speaking communities have achieved some things in history. I think we would like to remind ourselves and everyone of these events as well. I think that is it. I think it's important that you know our projects. I'm sure you will agree that these are well thought out projects, very community based, and we have a lot of work to do. But 12 of us, not the dirty dozen, the clean dozen, have got together. We have another 6 to elect, choose, and then with 18 will be full force. So, now want to finish with just a few thank yous. Now, as you know, it's always dangerous to thank people because you're bound to forget someone, but I'm going to take the risk and thank good. You see, I already telepathic because I was waiting on the slide here. You failed to meet. Many thanks to Fabian Hamilton for having us here, and also many other lords and MPs. I've been given a list. We have received support from, in no specific order, from Diane Abbott, Meg Hillier, Andy Love, Simon Hughes, George Howarth, Andrew Rosendale, Lord McGuinness, Baroness Scott, Lord Northbrook, and Lord Sharkey. And I'm also very happy to see you gentlemen here, and I hope, I can't see her at the moment, but Baroness Merrill as well.
She will be on her way there. They've got votes. I apologise on behalf of members of the Commons because we have at the moment tributes to Nelson Mandela.
Of course.
In the chamber, so a lot of members want to say.
So, thank you to them. Thank you again, and to Fabian, and thank you everyone for coming. This charity will need your support, and we look forward to working all together. Thank you very much indeed.
If it's okay with everybody here, we'll take questions and discussions in a moment, but I'm very aware that Jamila has got some words to say to us, and she's come a long way. So, Jamila, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Dear Mr. Hamilton, dear Mr. Ambassador, dear Professor Jungas, honorable members of House of Lords and Commons, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me tonight to be here to address such a distinguished audience. I also would like to thank the Turkish-speaking community Turkuas for their outstanding event and giving me the opportunity to make this speech on political integration of Turkey origin migrants in Germany and my personal political way as a federal member of German Bundestag. Thank you. Hepinize saygı ve sevgiyle selamlıyorum. Beni davet ettiğiniz için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Konuşmamı İngilizce yapacağım. Tahmin ettiğiniz gibi Mr. Hamilton çok daha iyi Türkçe konuşamadığı için İngilizce yapacağız. I just said because of the Turkish is not so good, I will speak in English now. Konrad Adenauer, a former German chancellor and the first leader of Christian Democratic Union, once said, "Bond of trust between political actors from different countries is central for the resolution of political issues. In this regard, I consider this meeting as a first step in our political friendship, in our common effort to increase political integration of Turkey origin migrants in our countries, in Germany and in the United Kingdom. In the following, I will first briefly provide an overview of political representation of Turkish origin politicians in Germany. Thereafter, I will provide an insight on my political pathway. At the end, I look forward to your questions and the lively exchange. Turkish family names like Tören, Özkan, or Özdemir, alongside with traditional German names like Schmidt, Meyer, or Beck, is already a routine part of German politics. This is not very surprising because politicians are not only the faces of their political parties, they are the faces of the society they represent. And the changing face of German parliaments hints at the transformation in German society. Let me note what we do not have that we do not have an ethnic minority classification in Germany as it's used in Britain. We use the term migration background to refer to people who have immigrated themselves and their children either born or grown up in Germany. The positive trend in politicians with migration background in diverse assemblies is apparent. 5 years ago, 3 regional states, namely North Rhine-Westphalia, where I'm from, Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria, states with the largest share of migrant population, had no politicians with Turkish or migration backgrounds in their state parliaments. This changed starting with 2010. In 2010, my party, the Christian Democratic Union, took a remarkable step and appointed Germany's first Muslim Turkish Minister of Social Affairs for the northern state of Lower Saxony. Her name is Aygül Özkan. I think you know her from the Turkish press maybe. Other political parties followed this step, and in the meantime, 3 ministers and 2 state secretaries with Turkish backgrounds have been appointed in diverse regional states. At federal legislative level, the number of politicians with migration background has increased, therefore, since the 6th legislative period, with 11 politicians with migration background were represented. To the new elected 18th Federal Assembly, the hosts 37 politicians with migration background. 11 of those 37 lawmakers are of Turkish origin. This is twice as much as in the previous legislature. In the Bundestag, the change is most marked for Germany's main conservative party, Christian Democratic Union. My political party now has 8 other MPs with migration backgrounds, up from just a couple beside my person as my party's first Muslim Turkish MP. The Social Democrats now have 13 immigrant parliamentarians, up from 4. The Green Party has 7 immigrant origin representatives, and the Left 8. The Left Party has 8. Despite the increasing trend of politicians with Turkey origin politicians in German politics, one should not conclude that people with migration background and Turkey origin especially are equally represented. The share of people with migration background in German population is about 19%, whereas the ethnic diversity in the parliament accounts for close to 6% of MPs. So focused on Turkish origin federal MPs refers to only 2%, and in comparison, Turkish origin people make up 4% of Germany's population. So you see, we also have to do much more of this work. However, since levels of minority residential concentrations are lower in Germany than in the UK, for instance, there are no districts where immigrant origin candidates could rely only upon the votes of immigrant origin supporters. Their increase can thus be interpreted as a reflection of changing understanding of political representation and recognition of diversity. In other words, this change in German politics refers both to greater openness in political parties for politicians with migration background and an increase in the interest of the latter for active politics. My personal political engagement in the route of conservatives started when I was a university student and participated in a meeting of German-Turkish platform in 2004. German-Turkish Forum or platform is a special organization of the CDU. It was created in 1997 by Turkish origin and German members. At present, it is actively politically in North Rhine-Westphalia, Berlin, Hamburg and Berlin. According to estimations of the DTF, the CDU has already 2,000 Turkish origin members. The DTF understands itself as a platform within the CDU that creates an open path of dialogue between Turkish and German community. There I got to know many highly proactive, open-minded German Christian Democrats, so originally German Christian Democrats. So I wanted to become not only a part of this internal process, but at the same time playing an active role in it. So I get more and more involved in political representation at different levels, from district council to the executive committee of my party's regional branch up to the federal parliament for about 2 months now. My way to elected office in Bundestag has been based on a perfect coincidence. After my decision to run for the Bundestag, Armin Laschet, North Rhine-Westphalian chairman of the CDU, introduced me to the local CDU group of Hagen, which was actually looking for a direct candidate. The sympathies on both sides and my enthusiasm for the city and its surrounding seemed like the fruitful ground for a successful cooperation. The reaction in my constituency, Hagen, following my nomination has been cheerful, rather suspicious. They said, "We will become known as the first constituency with a Turkish Muslim direct candidate, and we will go down in CDU history with this nomination." Indeed, it has perfectly worked out at the end of the day. People can be skeptical of a Muslim in the Christian Democratic Party. Yet the CDU is undergoing an opening up process. Active politicians with diverse ethnic or religious backgrounds are not any longer as exotic as one assumes. In federal CDU executive boards, there are 4 members with different ethnic backgrounds. For me personally, the party's position in family politics was very convincing in contrast to other parties. Furthermore, I can associate myself with the religious bedrock of the party. For me, the C for Christian in the CDU is more like a B as for belief and certain values. In my opinion, the emphasis that the CDU places on social values is more appealing to migrants than some would expect. Younger generations or migrants who are born and grown up in Germany deal less with integration and migration matters as their parents. Thus, their political interests or preferences are mostly driven by economic and social policies and parties offer. In this respect, I assume that in future, Turkish origin voters in Germany will more and more change from left liberal parties to more conservative parties that also overlap with their worldview. Given my achievement now to be the first Muslim woman representing CDU in the Bundestag, I consider myself as an example for a diverse Germany. But there are so many young women like me. I am just one of them. I see my task as a young German MP with migrant background in encouraging especially younger people to get involved in social and political process. What we need, also in Germany or the United Kingdom, is more diversity in policies as well as other areas of social interaction. In this perspective, I really appreciate the efforts of Turkuas in mobilizing social and political integration and look forward for the discussion with you now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. I know that that's something we thank you very much for being with us. Before we go any further, I have one of my...
So very much welcome here today, and I think it's a great refreshing moment to have you here. Now, I don't want to be I want to be very diplomatic, but while I was in the European Parliament, I think it would be fair to say I shared a greater enthusiasm for Turkey joining the European Union than did many of my German Christian Democrat colleagues. So I think my sort of straightforward question to you is the Christian Democrat Party in Germany now seeing much more supportive of a possible Turkish entry to the EU?
Do you want to reply to that before we go to...
Yes, of course. Maybe.
I think a couple of people wanted to also say something.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Can we just...
And then we can take questions.
Yeah, I mean, it only has to be a straightforward answer. It doesn't need to take very long.
And Neil may have to leave. I don't know if you, Alan, were with us for Neil, but MPs have to dart in and out of all sorts of meetings. Would it be possible just to reply to his question? Then obviously we'll take other contributions as well immediately.
Yes, I can say some words. To this point, you know, the CDU supports the privileged partnership, and it is, of course, a discussion within the party. We, as Turkish origin party members, not only MPs, we also always said we need an open discussion. We don't want a discussion with an aim. At the end, Turkey is just a privileged partner, but we want this process be discussed openly. So, me personally, I support the full membership of Turkey in the European Union. And I said this from the first beginning of my career in the CDU, and that was not a problem, because we are a big party. You know, we have so many different opinions, and in a lot of working areas. So it's not a problem to be a Turkish MP saying you have to be open for Turkey. I know many of my colleagues, they say, okay, we have so many good relationships with Turkey when we look at the economic sector. There are no problems. We are really supporting this economic sector more and more. But when we look at the full partnership in the EU, many of my colleagues say no, because Turkey is a big country and you know all the arguments why they say no. But when we look on the crisis, for example in Syria, you know what kind of big role Turkey plays now in this area. So more and more we have to ask, or European Union members have to ask, can we really go ahead leaving Turkey outside the European Union? So the question is another, it's another question now. And I think we will discuss it more and more open. It's necessary also for Germany. And I'm sure, like it was in the topic with integration, my party will develop more and more positive view on this thing.
Well, I'm sure you know that both the Conservative Party, the Liberal Democrats and the Labour Party in this country are completely supportive of Turkish membership of the EU. And we're probably unique in the European Union. All the parties.
That's right.
Is there anything you want to say, coming back on what Joanna said? Or?
No, only just really welcome those comments, because I know, in the past, certainly from '99 onwards, there was quite a lot of objection to Turkey joining from parts of your party. So I'm sure there's still a good debate, but at least you're having that debate, and I very much welcome that, because Turkey is a strategic ally and one that should not be kept out of the EU. So it's up to Turkey, of course, to decide whether she wants to join the EU also, but I think we should not close that door. And so I welcome your comments.
Thank you, thank you for raising that. Right, who's next? So, Councillor, if you could make a few comments and just introduce yourself as well.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Nilgün Canber, and obviously I'm known as Nilgün Canber. It's much easier for everyone in the community. I have no problem with that, I must say. I am the chair of Labour Friends of Turkey, and also the one of the delegates, UK delegates to European Union Committee of the Regions. When it comes to Europe and being a politician in Europe is, Germany, the Turkish-speaking community in Germany has got a long history. So in that sense, in all political parties, we can see some representatives. But how many of them are going to come to top level? Or how many of them will be able to make some changes or make inroads in terms of responding to political needs of the communities is a big question mark. In 1992, I was, as a councillor, or professionally in fact, I organized events, single European markets, and I organized visits to Strasbourg and Brussels. And I'm afraid to say, more than 20 years ago, Germans were a big barrier for Turkey's full accession to the European Union. And still they are, I'm afraid. And I'm really proud to be a British politician that since 2005, 6, 7, those years, Britain, past and present, governments have been fully behind Turkey's full accession. And it is really important that Turkey, I believe, has to find its place and become a full member in Europe. When it comes to being a politician with Turkish origins in this community, is sometimes double-edged sword, because on one hand, I have the understanding of some of my communities, but I'm also well integrated. I can see that amongst councillors there are several Turkish-speaking ones at the moment. But in terms of infrastructure and whether these people have the capacity to fully integrate into the political parties and how much knowledge they have about how it works is still a long way to go. So in that sense, I welcome Turkuas taking an interest, keen interest in this matter. And I suggest that the organization works very closely with political parties, all political parties, and really drills down what it means being a politician in a community, whether it is local level, national level, or European level. We have a long way to go as well, but this is a good start.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, any other contributions from people who hold elected office or?
Hoping Baroness Edger, but I'm not.
Baroness Edger will be here. Well, she said she would be here soon.
Okay. I think the only other speaker we wanted to have was one of the youngsters.
Yes,
Because,
I will say.
I wondered if any of you guys have enough courage to get up and say something in front of this very famous politician.
This very famous politician. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, lovely, great. Please, just say who you are and then tell us what you think.
Yeah, my name is Furkan Bektaş. I got to Marathon Science School, and I wanted to ask, is there any other German politician from any other parties in Germany?
Other Turkish politicians.
Other Turkish Germans?
Yes, we are 11.
Oh, yeah.
We are 11, and the most are Social Democrats, but the Greens and the Left Party also have. And including all origins, we are 38, I think. For example, in my party, there are also politicians with Armenian or English origin, and Greek origin, and so on. But Turkish, we are 11. Yeah, in the whole country.
Thank you, that's a really good question. Do you want to come back on that at all? Is there anything else you'd like to say? Okay. Anybody else? Come on, don't be shy. He's show the way.
Can I ask a question to the youngsters? I mean, do any of you see yourselves getting into politics? We're doing this for you. Are you going to try and campaign and get involved and find out how to be a famous politician?
We will not say
I can assure you there's no money in it.
That doesn't encourage you, does it?
think about it, because I think we would like to kind of...
Let me just interject here, because, sorry, forgive me for doing this to the chair, but 3 weeks ago I was privileged to go to the Himalayan former kingdom of Nepal to get that many people on the electoral register, I think 18 million altogether, to vote in those elections. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, and I think we could only actually dream of this in our own constituencies, by 10 o'clock in the morning, 3 hours after the polls opened, a third of the electorate had already voted. A third. And in the constituency I visited in Nagarkot, which is about 50 kilometres north of Kathmandu, 86% of the people turned out between 7 a.m. and the polls closing at 5 p.m. It was fantastically well organised, and I saw no examples of any intimidation, corruption, or fraud in any way. It was really, really well organised, to such an extent that we could learn in the West, and we could learn all in Turkey and Great Britain and Germany. We could learn from them. And so that just tells you how important voting and democratic choice is to everybody, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what their economic background.
I couldn't agree with you more, and this is an even bigger problem in the Turkish-speaking community. We just don't get out the vote. I don't know if you'd like to say something in your
Yes,
experience.
I think it's a very important question. This time when we had elections, there were many, the Turkish newspapers, the migrant communities, they started a project, and it was called like Vote to Vote. So, and they tried to inform the people that they have the chance, when they have the German passport, to join the elections. And I think this is a very important thing. When I talk to, for example, the parties have different organizations within. For example, Christian Democrats have a group where just the younger people are joining. You can join them when you are, I don't know, 14 years or something like that. And when you are older, you got into another group. I think it must be the same within the parties here. Also, the women are in like kadın kolları, we know it in Turkish. They are organized in some women groups or something like that. And when I talk to them and say them, okay, you have to invite also people with migrant backgrounds to your groups, to your meetings, and so on. They always tell me, we are open, everyone can come. So, but this is not the point. The point is, we need to go actively to migrant organizations to tell them, okay, we are here in your city, we are working on this and that project, we have this problem with closing schools, or we have this problem with, I don't know, and we want to work together. I think this is the most important thing the parties has to do. For example, in my party, our membership is getting more and more older, so they need younger generation, and in my city, nearly 40% of the people have migration background. So it is necessary to build this bridge to the also Turkish or not Turkish, also Greek or something communities, to get them into the party, not just as voters, not because of the votes, but to be a strong democracy. It's necessary for the future of our countries. It's not possible that we say, okay, 40% of the people who are living in the city are not included in this political process. But on the other side, of course, there also must be an interest of foreign community or of migrant communities to say, I also want to be a voice. I also want to be included in this process. It is also my interest when the school next to me is closed because the city don't have many money, or the is closed because there is no more money, or the library is closed. I don't know. We also have to be interested in the things which are happening around us, and not just focused on Turkish topics. Okay? But I think it's normal because you or me also, I was born in Germany, I feel German, so I am interested in German politics because this is my homeland, and I think it's completely normal for you too. You are English, aren't you? So I think it's very important not just to wait, but also make a step to the parties and say, hey, here we are, what can we do? I know a lot of younger people are interested in politics or in social topics. They are supporting younger people, pupils, for example, in their educational way, and are very, very active in Germany. We have so many projects, but when it comes to politics, there is a less interest. I don't know why. But I think it's very, very important to increase this and just go ahead and try.
Well, I hope our young people are listening. Sorry, yeah, please come in.
Sorry, can I just add something to what you were saying? Because I really agree with what you are saying. I'm a new face to meetings like this. My name's Idin Kuluch. I'm a teacher at a school in Tottenham that has a high population of Turkish-speaking community pupils. I don't know if I made sense there, but and this is something that you were saying as well. You were asking young members, young pupils, how could they get involved in politics, but what more could we do to kind of actively let them know how actually indeed can they be involved in politics? What can they do? What pathway can they take? Because as a teacher at North London Park Community School, I don't see anything publicised, and I don't see how these young Turkish students know. So what could we do with Turkuas?
I'm going to make a suggestion. I mean, sorry, I know this is a Turkuas meeting, not a Labour Party or Fair Council meeting, but my suggestion is, because I spent a lot of my political career trying to answer those questions, is that you ask all the political parties to come and talk to people, the pupils in your school.
I would definitely love to, but me, even as a teacher, I don't know who to address and where to go, so I'm hoping that maybe...
Talk to this man here, David Lammy, he's on the screen there at the moment. David Lammy's your local MP. Ask the local MP.
Can I just say that I was governor of your school, and maybe I shouldn't have given it up. Then we could have
This lady.
Hi, my name is Ipek Yusuf, and I'm a youth committee at Turkish Youths of London, and we're based in Southgate. Answering your question, there is youth parliament which runs in different boroughs within London, and I think Turkuas can play a part in educating young people, Turkish-speaking young people, into the way politics works, because I don't think there is enough education on it. So there was a short research just in general on university students and how much they actually knew about politics or whether they actually voted. And I think about 2/3 of them said they didn't know anything about politics. And I think it is education. That's where Turkuas can actually step in and educate. And then young Turkish people can approach youth parliament, and then maybe they can take it on from there.
You put your finger on it. It is about education. And I think that our schools are frightened. I don't know if you agree with this, Neil. Our schools are frightened of mentioning the word politics to their young people, because they might be seen to be somehow influencing them one way or the other. That's not the way it works. The schools I go to, and Neil will go to as well as everybody, we're invited into our schools. Yes, we have our own party political viewpoint, we are party politicians, but we also are thoughtful enough, all of us, to know that we represent everyone. And it doesn't matter what your view is, the important point is to vote and participate in the debate, be persuaded one way or the other. Neil?
Yeah, I mean, I would back that up, because when I go into school, I talk about the government, about the process, about Parliament, how it works, how you jump up and down when you're in the chamber to catch the eye of the speaker, to try and sort of engage you all in order that then you can have interest, because I think it's up to us all as politicians, whatever party we are, to get, because we're all aware that we're not getting enough votes, or whichever party you are, we're not getting enough votes from young people, and that's where it's key. Because what I was going to say to you all, do you get involved at all locally in local issues? Because when I started, I may look very old now, but when I was young, I actually was a sort of parish councillor, district councillor, county councillor. I've been through the gambit, and I started at a very local level. stirring up trouble, and then I've just carried on stirring up trouble at a bigger level. But do any of you feel really passionate? I mean, what do you like about our society, or what do you dislike about it? Where are we getting it wrong? Does any of you feel sort of really passionately that there's a problem, or is it good? Is everything wonderful? The trouble is, you see, if you don't say that it's not wonderful, we take it for certain that it is wonderful.
Can I just bring...
Yeah.
There's a lot to do within the organizations in terms of building capacity, and when it comes to the political parties, it's really important all parties go out there and engage with the communities as well. Because I know that every political party at the moment wants to reflect the makeup of the community. This is representative democracy.
Thank you. Sorry,
Yes, can I ask Jamila now, how did you get involved in German politics?
I'm curious, and I'm sure many people are curious as well. Did you wake up one morning and say, right, and what about your parents? Did they play a role?
Yeah.
Please tell us your story.
Yes, I would like to explain, and if you give me 1 minute, I would like to add something to that. My parents came from Greece, from Western Thrace. They are belonging to the Turkish minority in Greece, and they are not that involved in politics.
There are a few of them here, I can tell you.
Yes, my colleagues are also here, they are not very known. And as the first generation of so-called guest workers or Gastarbeiter, there were no academics, so they were just as little less, but they were workers, they worked in a factory, and they were not informed, they don't know how to vote or something like that. And I was very lucky because I met someone, a politician. It was Armin Laschet, the former Minister of Integration in Germany from the CDU, and he said, okay, we have, at this time I lived in Aachen, and he said, okay, we have a very big community of Turkish origin people in Aachen, but we don't have any representative of them in the parliament. Also in the Stadtparlament, City Hall, yeah, in the City Hall, and we need this bridge to the community. So can you help us just to build up this this relationship? So I think this is the important point. If you don't come from an academic family, you are not involved in politics and so on, then it is necessary, or in my way it was necessary, that there was someone who helped me on this way, who said, okay, you can be member of the state parliament, we need you to work with us. And in Germany there are many projects, like mentoring projects, where you can, where pupils can make traineeships in the offices of politicians. I think this is the first step. Maybe this could be an awesome project for Turkuas, just to invite politicians to be like somebody like a mentor for younger people, just to get involved more in this in the work of politicians. When I first started to become more and more involved, I didn't have any idea what is the job of a politician. So I think these first steps are very important and necessary. And in my case, it was really, there were some people who said, we really desperately need in this party more people with Turkish origin, and we want you to work with us together. And I think this was a very big symbol, a signal to the Turkish community, and in my election district, I was very, very supported by the Turkish community. So they voted for me and they supported me in the election campaign. But my first steps really, I started with politics when I was at university. And we had this Turkish-German platform or forum. This is within the CDU, an association question from German and Turkish interested people who said, okay, we want to be more involved in topics like education. We want to, for example, in Germany, one topic is the çifte vatandaşlık. I don't know how to say it. Okay, the dual citizenship. And or also membership of Turkey in the EU. We want to talk about these issues. So we came together and built up this Deutsch-Turkish forum, and there we work together. And I know that many Turkish younger people need this door opener, like the Deutsch-Turkish forum, to feel invited within the party. And this was what I tried to explain, because the other associations within the party, they don't feel that much, I don't know, that they have to invite other people. They are a little bit closed shop in every party.